The Art of Reality Control, Hidden Wisdom to Command Your Life. Introduction. Mastering the Art of Reality Control. In the hidden corridors of ancient wisdom lies a truth so profound, so intricately woven into the fabric of our existence, that few dare to grasp it fully. The world we inhabit, the reality we experience, is shaped by the power of our own perception and the energy we command. This book offers a guide to cultivating this mastery, an art known to the mystics and sages of old, those who understood that to change one's reality, one must first master oneself. Personal power, as it is taught in the esoteric traditions of Gnosticism, Rosicrucianism, and Hermeticism, is not about dominating the outer world. It is the process of internal alchemy, a subtle refinement of thought, emotion, and will, forged in the crucible of consciousness itself. These teachings reveal that our thoughts and beliefs are the architects of reality. As we embark on this journey, we uncover the ancient principle of, as above, so below, as within, so without, a Hermetic axiom that tells us our inner world mirrors the outer one, and vice versa. To understand and master this is to take the first step in the transformation of self and circumstance alike. What lies ahead is a framework, a series of revelations designed to dismantle illusions and bring forth your latent power. Together, we will delve into the realms of perception, will, thought forms, and ritual, each a facet of the profound art of reality control. Imagine reality not as a rigid structure, but as a fluid energy field that bends to the influence of directed thought and intention. It is within this fluidity that our greatest potential awaits. Mystics of the Rosicrucian and Gnostic orders saw life as a canvas upon which one could paint with the brush of inner mastery. With this vision, they developed methods to align the mind, harness emotional energy, and project a clear intention that could shape their world. But mastery requires more than wishful thinking. It demands disciplined awareness and a commitment to silence the chaos within so that one's true will may emerge. The inner self, when cultivated, becomes the foundation of an unshakable reality. As you journey through these pages, expect to uncover layers of perception you may not have realized existed. There is a reservoir of wisdom deep within you, awaiting activation. This book does not seek to teach new skills or superficial methods, but rather to draw out what you already possess in dormant form. The power of command is not in the tools themselves but in the recognition of the self as the source. We will explore thought as energy, willpower as divine force, and the alignment of inner and outer worlds through practices that span centuries, passed down from the alchemists of Egypt to the philosophers of Greece, and from the scholars of the East to the modern mystics. Reality control is, at its core, an initiation. It is a call to transcend what the surface mind assumes as possible and touch the wellspring of unlimited potential within. As you read, consider each chapter a step further into the mystery, an opportunity to dissolve limitations and emerge with a vision unclouded by fear or doubt. The sages of old believed that true mastery begins with an unwavering belief in the self as a creator. In the words of Hermes Trismegistus, man is a marvel, for he can make himself God if he chooses. It is in this spirit that we embark on the journey toward the realization of your own boundless power. Let this be a guide, a torch passed down from hands that have traveled the path before you, illuminating the way toward the life you are meant to command. Before we dive into this transformative audiobook, hit like and subscribe if you're ready to learn something truly powerful. Your support helps bring more audiobooks like this to the channel. Thanks for being with us. Chapter 1. The Power of Perception, Shaping Reality from Within. At the heart of every mystical tradition lies a simple but profound truth. Reality, as we perceive it, is shaped by the mind. The Hermetic principle of mentalism, which states that all is mind, serves as the foundation for understanding how thoughts and beliefs influence every aspect of life. Our thoughts are not mere fragments of imagination. they are forces that shape the world as surely as rivers carve valleys. When we understand that reality is a construct of our perception, we can begin to unweave the illusions that bind us and consciously shape our lives. Reality is as flexible as our beliefs about it. To command the world around us, we must first command the world within. Perception is the lens through which we experience everything. This lens is often clouded by assumptions, past experiences, and societal conditioning. The Gnostics, who believed that true wisdom lay in the depths of inner knowledge, taught that the soul is often ensnared by the false narratives of the material world. To them, transcending these illusions was the path to liberation. Likewise, Rosicrucian teachings urge us to question the nature of our perceptions, to peel back the layers of imposed beliefs that limit our vision. Every belief we hold about ourselves and the world acts as a boundary, either expanding or constricting our experience. Thus, by examining our deeply held assumptions, we uncover the beliefs that hinder us from accessing our fullest potential. Imagine perception as the soil from which our thoughts grow. Whatever is planted there, whether seeds of limitation or expansion, will take root and shape the landscape of our lives. If our thoughts are mired in doubt and fear, the world reflects these qualities back to us. If we cultivate beliefs rooted in strength, clarity, and purpose, we find that life responds in kind. Perception is not static. It is malleable and responsive as the conscious mind that wields it. Reality is not an immovable stone but rather a mirror that reflects our inner state. This understanding empowers us to actively choose our beliefs, shaping perception into a tool of mastery rather than a passive experience. Reframing our perception requires recognizing and dismantling limiting beliefs. These beliefs, often inherited or unconsciously accepted, are invisible chains that bind our vision to narrow possibilities. The Hermetic principle reminds us that the mind is the ultimate creator, not merely an observer. When we challenge a limiting belief, we create space for a new, empowering perspective. Consider the simple yet transformative act of shifting from "I can't" to "I choose to." This shift changes the energetic framework of the mind and the way reality responds. In place of impossibility, we instill possibility. To change one's perception is to engage in the alchemy of the self, transforming base assumptions into gold. As you begin to explore your perception, ask yourself, what beliefs have shaped my reality thus far? Are they rooted in fear, or do they empower me? What would happen if I chose to see the world as a realm of limitless potential rather than a series of obstacles? The answers to these questions reveal the contours of your inner world, the landscape from which all outward experiences arise. By shaping this internal terrain with intention, you gain the power to reshape your life from the inside out. In the world of esoteric wisdom, there is no greater magic than the transformation of perception. To master perception is to hold the keys to the gates of reality itself, a path that leads to realms of potential beyond imagination. Chapter 2: Awakening Inner Authority, Tapping into the Power of Personal Will. In every mystical tradition, willpower is revered as a sacred force, an expression of divine will coursing through the individual. It is not merely the power to act, but the power to align intention with the vast, unseen forces of the universe. Rosicrucian and Hermetic teachings describe the will as a bridge connecting the inner self with the outer world, a tool that shapes not only our actions but our reality itself. In the esoteric view, the will is the flame of consciousness, the force that illuminates the path and clears obstacles. To awaken and wield this inner authority is to step into a role of sovereignty, where you command your life rather than submit to the whims of fate. Personal will is the key to inner authority, the force that allows us to transcend the passive role of an observer in life. It calls upon us to harness our innate power, to transform from reactive beings to conscious creators. Yet, Modern existence often encourages passive acceptance, where we allow our desires and intentions to be influenced by societal expectations or external circumstances. The teachings of the ancients implore us to reclaim our will as our own, as a force aligned with our true desires and divine nature. Hermetic wisdom, which emphasizes mastery over the self as the foundation of all mastery, teaches us that the first act of true will is to commit to self-mastery. This means a conscious decision to act from one's own authority, not from the compulsions or fears imposed by external sources. Strengthening the will begins with the small but profound act of self-discipline. In esoteric traditions, self-discipline is seen not as a restriction but as a path to liberation, a way to unearth one's true desires beneath the noise of fleeting urges and distractions. The Gnostics viewed self-discipline as a means to purify the mind, aligning it with higher wisdom rather than lower impulses. When you choose to prioritize inner authority over external influences, you elevate the will from a mere survival instinct to a divine tool of creation. This process requires practice, beginning with small, deliberate actions that reinforce your sovereignty. Every choice made from a place of intentionality strengthens your connection to your inner authority, making the will an unbreakable force that aligns seamlessly with your higher self. The alchemy of the will lies in its ability to direct energy, to command not only one's actions but the very flow of thought and emotion. In the esoteric arts, the will is understood as the driver of all mental and emotional currents. When you learn to command your will, you gain the power to transmute doubt into confidence, fear into courage, and chaos into clarity. This process is akin to refining raw metal into gold, a transformation that requires focus, intention, and commitment. Willpower, in its highest form, is not an iron resolve that forces outcomes but a steady alignment with one's true path, an unyielding adherence to the inner voice that knows your purpose. It is this subtle but powerful alignment that makes the will an instrument of personal and spiritual evolution. As you explore the depths of your will, reflect on where you have allowed external forces to guide your choices. Ask yourself, how often do I act from my own authority, and how often do I yield to outside influence? What would my life look like if every decision were guided by my highest self rather than by fear or habit? The answers to these questions reveal the extent of your inner authority and the areas where your will can be further strengthened. By awakening and aligning with the true power of your personal will, you set forth on a path of mastery. In this alignment, life ceases to be a series of reactions and becomes an intentional act of creation, a journey where each step is guided by an unshakable commitment to your highest truth. Chapter 3: Thoughtforms and Energy Control, Commanding Mental Projections. In the realm of mystical wisdom, thoughts are not seen as mere fleeting mental images but as vibrant energies, capable of shaping reality. Esoteric traditions, especially those rooted in Gnosticism and Rosicrucian philosophy, teach that thoughtforms, thoughts given power and purpose, are seeds planted within the fertile ground of consciousness. These seeds, when nurtured with attention and intention, grow into the very reality we experience. To understand thoughtforms is to grasp the art of energy control, the knowledge that every thought we entertain projects a subtle force into the world, aligning with energies beyond our immediate awareness. Commanding mental projections, therefore, becomes not only a practice of shaping one's own life but of directing unseen currents that ripple outward, influencing the vast fabric of existence. Thoughtforms are the mental blueprints from which our experiences arise, embodying a form of psychic architecture that constructs our perceived world. In occult philosophy, thoughts that lack purpose dissipate quickly, like mist in the morning sun. However, focused thoughts, those shaped by intent and sustained through attention, become tangible forces, drawing in corresponding energies to materialize in the outer world. The Hermetic principle of as within, so without underscores this process, showing that our inner constructs mirror our outer experiences. Through disciplined practice, one can learn to cultivate thought forms consciously, choosing which ideas to empower and which to dissolve, and in doing so, acquire a level of control over both personal and external realities. The first step in mastering thought forms is the cultivation of mental clarity. Just as an artist requires a clean canvas, so must the mind be clear and unburdened to create effective thought forms. Gnostic teachings emphasize the purification of thought as a means to align with higher truths, suggesting that clarity of mind opens channels to divine wisdom. This clarity enables us to recognize which thoughts serve our higher purpose and which are distractions born from fear, doubt, or habit. The mind, when free from unnecessary clutter, becomes a powerful vessel for focused intent. By regularly observing and quieting the mind, you cultivate a mental stillness that serves as the ideal ground for projecting potent thought forms, each one a precise stroke in the masterpiece of your reality. Once mental clarity is achieved, the act of creation through thought forms becomes an intentional exercise. In the same way that a sculptor carves away excess stone to reveal the hidden form within, you shape your thoughts to embody specific qualities and intentions. Rosicrucian teachings remind us that every thought carries an energy signature, a vibrational frequency that attracts corresponding experiences. As you infuse your thought forms with attributes like resilience, compassion, or abundance, they begin to resonate with these qualities, drawing matching energies from the universe. By consciously forming and directing these mental projections, you align yourself with the energies that resonate with your aspirations, crafting a reality that mirrors your highest vision. Reflect on the power of the thought forms you've cultivated, both consciously and unconsciously. Which thoughts do you project most often, and how have they shaped your experiences? The journey of mastering thought forms invites you to take inventory of your mental landscape, to consider which ideas and beliefs have taken root in your consciousness. Imagine how your life could shift if each thought were imbued with purpose, crafted to elevate your reality rather than merely reflect your current state. This introspective practice becomes the foundation of your power over thought forms, setting you on the path of conscious creation. Embrace this control, knowing that each thought you choose to entertain or release carries the potential to sculpt your reality, turning the intangible into the undeniable. Chapter 4. Beyond the illusion of limitations, embracing the power of potential. In the ancient teachings of Gnosticism, it is said that the greatest barriers we face are not those imposed by the world but those created within the mind. Limitations, as we commonly understand them, are constructs, boundaries shaped by beliefs, past experiences, and societal conditioning. Mystics throughout the ages have emphasized that true potential lies beyond these self-imposed constraints. The challenge is to recognize that these limitations are, at their core, illusions that veil our inherent power. By looking within and shedding these illusions, we awaken to a reality where potential flows freely, untethered by doubt and fear. In this awakening, one discovers that the path to personal mastery is not about adding more but about stripping away the misconceptions that obscure the truth of boundless possibility. The illusion of limitation is woven into the fabric of society, often disguised as wisdom or caution. From a young age, individuals are taught to measure success within certain boundaries, confined to definitions and standards dictated by others. However, the Gnostic path reveals that such boundaries are a kind of spiritual sleep, keeping us anchored to a surface-level existence, far from the depths of our true nature. Rosicrucian teachings echo this by pointing out that every perceived boundary is but a threshold, a challenge to rise above. The real journey lies in unlearning these constraints, in recognizing that they serve as thresholds to expanded consciousness. Each limitation we encounter is an invitation to look deeper, to question the nature of reality itself, and to find what lies beyond. Dismantling these illusions requires an inward journey marked by reflection and courage. It begins with observing our recurring thoughts and beliefs, particularly those that whisper of inadequacy or impossibility. These mental echoes are often remnants of past experiences or voices from external influences that do not resonate with our inner truth. Mystical traditions teach that we must confront these inner barriers, not as obstacles to be resisted but as illusions to be seen through. When we bring these beliefs to light and examine their origin, they often dissolve, like shadows dispelled by the morning sun. This process of dismantling is not about force but clarity, seeing each limitation for what it truly is, a veil that obscures our infinite nature. Once we peel back these layers, the vast potential within begins to emerge. Embracing this potential is like opening a door to a realm of endless possibilities, a world where our abilities are not defined by past experiences or societal expectations. This potential is not something we gain. Rather, it is something we reclaim, a return to the unconditioned state of consciousness that recognizes itself as part of the boundless universe. The Gnostic approach to personal mastery teaches that true empowerment comes not from accumulation but from liberation, freeing the mind from its own restrictive thoughts. By stepping into this liberated awareness, we start to see ourselves not as fixed beings but as fluid expressions of life's creative force, each moment brimming with new possibilities. Consider the ways in which you have unknowingly limited yourself, whether through beliefs about what is possible, judgments about your capabilities, or assumptions about the world around you. How might your reality shift if these boundaries were dissolved? The journey beyond limitation invites you to view each belief as a doorway rather than a wall, to see potential where you once saw restraint. The realization of potential is not a sudden attainment but a gradual unfolding, as you shed one layer of illusion after another. Embrace this journey with the knowing that, beyond each limitation you release, an infinite self awaits, a self that is capable, expansive, and intrinsically aligned with the boundless nature of reality itself. Chapter 5. The Law of Correspondence, Aligning the Inner and Outer Realities. The ancient maxim, as above, so below, as within, so without, reveals a profound truth, that the inner and outer worlds mirror one another, woven together in a dance of correspondence. This principle, known as the Law of Correspondence, is a cornerstone of Hermetic wisdom and invites us to observe that the state of our internal world creates the shape of our external reality. Just as nature reflects cosmic principles, so too does the outer world reflect the condition of our inner mind. To master this law is to recognize that true change begins within, where we hold the power to shape our thoughts, beliefs, and perceptions, which then ripple outward to form the very fabric of our lives. The implications of this principle are vast, suggesting that every experience we encounter is, in some way, a reflection of our inner state. The mind is like a mirror, reflecting back to us the beliefs, fears, hopes, and desires we hold within. A person who believes in scarcity may find themselves continually faced with lack, while one who cultivates a sense of abundance often encounters opportunities and prosperity. Rosicrucian teachings encourage us to view these patterns not as mere coincidences but as the natural consequence of the inner state shaping the outer reality. The world becomes a canvas upon which the soul projects its current state, providing us with insight into our deepest beliefs and intentions. When we understand and work with the law of correspondence, we step into a position of alignment and empowerment. Instead of attempting to control the outer world directly, an approach that often leads to frustration, we shift our focus to transforming our inner landscape. Through introspection and mindful cultivation of thought, we can shift the vibrations within, which then resonate outward, influencing the reality we experience. This alignment is not passive but an active engagement with our inner world, a conscious choice to cultivate thoughts, beliefs, and emotions that reflect the life we desire. As the Hermetics understood, harmony between the inner and outer worlds is the essence of true mastery. To bring our inner world into alignment with our aspirations, we must first recognize the areas of discord, where the beliefs we hold do not support the reality we wish to manifest. This discord might appear as doubt, fear, or feelings of unworthiness, mental constructs that subtly sabotage our ability to realize our goals. In the Rosicrucian tradition, these misalignments are opportunities for spiritual growth, as they reveal to us the areas of our consciousness that still cling to limitation. By addressing these internal conflicts with awareness and intention, we begin to purify our inner state, fostering a resonance that aligns more closely with our desired experiences. This process is the work of inner alchemy, transforming discord into harmony. Reflecting on your own life, consider the ways in which your inner beliefs, assumptions, and emotions shape your outer reality. Where do you see harmony, and where do you sense dissonance? Understanding the law of correspondence invites you to become the architect of your inner world, constructing beliefs and thoughts that resonate with your highest self. Each shift within, no matter how subtle, carries outward, influencing the events, people, and circumstances you encounter. In this way, mastering the law of correspondence is not about controlling the external but about creating a life of harmony by aligning your inner state with the reality you wish to experience. As above, so below. As within, so without. The universe is, indeed, your mirror. Chapter 6. Symbolic Language of the Soul, Mastering Inner Communication. Symbols are the language of the soul, a bridge between the conscious mind and the mysteries that reside deep within the unconscious. In esoteric traditions, symbols serve as powerful tools for self-mastery, containing layers of meaning that resonate beyond the literal. Unlike words, which often confine ideas to specific meanings, symbols are expansive, offering insights that grow and shift with each encounter. This chapter invites us to explore the symbolic landscape within, where archetypes, imagery, and metaphors shape the way we understand ourselves and our purpose. By mastering this symbolic language, we gain access to a direct line of communication with our inner self, a dialogue that speaks in the timeless language of the soul. From the alchemical symbol of the Ouroboros, representing cycles of transformation, to the tree of life symbolizing spiritual growth, symbols carry profound wisdom that bypasses rational analysis and speaks to the depths of our being. In the Rosicrucian and Hermetic traditions, symbols are more than mere representations. They are portals into deeper truths, each holding a unique resonance that can evoke insight, inspiration, and even shifts in consciousness. When we engage with symbols deliberately, we access aspects of the self that are often hidden from ordinary awareness. These symbols, woven into the collective unconscious, can act as guides, bringing clarity to life's journey and reinforcing our connection to the mystical aspects of our identity. To harness the power of symbols, one must first recognize and embrace those that resonate deeply on a personal level. Some symbols hold universal meaning, like the archetype of the seeker, representing the soul's journey toward wisdom, or the lotus, symbolizing spiritual enlightenment emerging from life's challenges. However, each individual also holds a unique repertoire of symbols that resonate with their personal story and aspirations. These symbols are like keys to understanding oneself at a deeper level, unlocking layers of personal meaning and insight that reveal our innermost drives and desires. When we recognize these symbols and reflect upon them, they become powerful allies in the pursuit of self-mastery. One can create or adopt personal symbols as tools for focus, meditation, and intention setting. By imbuing symbols with intention, we turn them into focal points for energy, aligning our conscious and subconscious minds toward a common purpose. For example, visualizing a sword may evoke strength and clarity, a reminder to cut through illusion and stand in personal truth. Similarly, the image of a flame might represent the transformative power of passion and resilience, encouraging us to persevere. These symbols, once chosen and honored, become more than images. they become energetic blueprints for the qualities we seek to embody. Through such practice, the symbolic language of the soul becomes an active dialogue, where the inner world collaborates with conscious intent to shape our reality. To truly master the symbolic language of the soul, consider which symbols resonate with your journey. Are there images, shapes, or archetypes that evoke powerful emotions or insights? Contemplate the qualities and energies they represent and ask yourself how these symbols can be integrated into your path of self-mastery. This exploration transforms symbols into companions, guiding forces that clarify, inspire, and empower. In engaging with them, you are not only deciphering the language of your soul but actively participating in a conversation that transcends words. By honoring and mastering this inner communication, you open yourself to a realm of wisdom that offers profound insight, creativity, and a deeper understanding of your place within the vast, interconnected web of existence. Chapter 7. Transforming Thought Patterns, Rewiring Mental Pathways. Our minds are shaped by habitual thought patterns that create an invisible architecture within, influencing our beliefs, behaviors, and ultimately, our experiences of reality. In esoteric traditions, the mind is seen as a malleable substance, an alchemical field where thoughts, much like elements, can be refined and transformed. Each thought cycle creates energetic imprints that can reinforce existing beliefs or, when consciously shifted, open new pathways of awareness and potential. Mastering the art of transforming thought patterns requires understanding that these mental circuits, though powerful, are not fixed. They can be altered and redirected, transmuting limiting beliefs into empowering truths. Ancient teachings regard habitual thought as a force that can be both creative and restrictive, depending on whether we guide it or allow it to guide us. In Rosicrucian thought, for example, the mind's natural tendencies are compared to channels in a riverbed. Over time, these channels deepen, shaping the flow of water just as thought patterns shape consciousness. Yet, the mind's inherent flexibility, like water, allows us to redirect these flows toward higher ideals and deeper truths. This capacity for change is the essence of mental alchemy, where base thoughts are refined into golden insights through conscious awareness and deliberate practice. To transform thought patterns, we must first bring awareness to the narratives we unconsciously repeat. These narratives, often inherited or learned, operate beneath the surface, subtly influencing how we perceive ourselves and the world. Consider a thought pattern such as, "I am not capable," which may have solidified over years of reinforcement. This pattern forms an energetic circuit within the mind, a feedback loop that shapes both perception and reality. To alter this, one must disrupt the cycle through conscious recognition and intention. By questioning the validity of the thought and replacing it with an empowering alternative, such as, "I am capable of growth and mastery," the energy once bound to the limiting belief is freed and redirected toward constructive ends. The esoteric practice of mental transmutation begins with identifying and refining our mental habits, much like an alchemist refining elements in search of the philosopher's stone. This process requires both patience and persistence, as the mind resists change until a new pattern is firmly established. In mystical teachings, this discipline is often described as a purification of the mind, where repetitive thoughts are reshaped into a mental tapestry of clarity, purpose, and strength. The new patterns, imbued with positive and empowering energy, create a foundation for higher states of awareness, setting the stage for personal transformation and alignment with one's true potential. In rewiring thought patterns, you are crafting a new mental architecture, one that reflects the highest aspirations of your soul. Reflect on the mental habits you wish to release and those you desire to cultivate. As you consciously build these new pathways, imagine them as radiant threads within your mind, illuminating each corner of your consciousness. Through this process, your mind becomes a temple of mastery, where every thought is an act of creation, every belief a testament to your evolving understanding. By transforming your mental pathways, you are not only changing your internal landscape but also altering the reality you experience, aligning yourself with the boundless possibilities that lie within. Chapter 8. Using Inner Silence for Absolute Control. In the teachings of mystics, philosophers, and sages, silence is revered as one of the greatest sources of power. It is in silence that the soul finds clarity, the mind accesses its deepest wisdom, and true mastery takes root. Inner silence is not merely the absence of noise, it is a profound state where one's consciousness connects with the subtle vibrations of the universe, free from the constraints of external influence. Within this silence, there exists an unbroken current of insight and strength, a hidden reservoir that offers a direct pathway to self-command and control over one's reality. Silence serves as the foundation of all esoteric practices, as it is in stillness that the mind can transcend its usual chatter and commune with the infinite. In Rosicrucian and Hermetic traditions, silence is taught as a discipline, an essential skill for those who seek mastery over their thoughts and emotions. By cultivating inner silence, one learns to listen beyond words, beyond the ceaseless hum of daily life, and tap into the subtler frequencies that reveal higher truths. This state of quiet is not a retreat from reality but an empowered stance within it, allowing one to act with purpose and clarity, unshaken by external distractions or disturbances. The journey toward inner silence begins with observing the mind's activity. Each thought that arises, each impulse and reaction, contributes to the noise that clouds perception and diminishes inner power. As you learn to quiet these disturbances, you create space for the wisdom within to emerge, like the clear surface of a lake undisturbed by ripples. In this silence, you can discern the difference between fleeting thoughts and lasting truths, between reactions born of habit and actions inspired by purpose. Such discernment is a hallmark of true mastery, for it places you in command of your inner realm, unbound by the transient fluctuations of the mind. Inner silence also serves as a potent shield, a boundary of serenity that prevents external chaos from penetrating your spirit. When one operates from a place of quiet strength, the opinions, fears, and anxieties of the world no longer have power over the self. This silence, cultivated and sustained, becomes an anchor that stabilizes the mind even in the face of turmoil. In the teachings of ancient mystics, silence is depicted as a fortress, an impenetrable sanctuary where the soul is free to dwell in its natural state of peace. From this place, one can observe the world with a calm detachment, free to choose responses rather than react impulsively, a mark of true power and control. To enter and sustain this silence requires a commitment to practice, to creating intentional moments throughout the day where the mind is free from its usual patterns of engagement. Each time you enter this silence, you align with the divine rhythm of the universe, strengthening your connection to your own inner wisdom. Over time, this silence becomes more than a practice, it becomes a state of being. It informs every thought, every choice, and every interaction, allowing you to live in harmony with both the world around you and the boundless universe within. In this silence, you come to realize that control over your reality begins and ends with the mastery of your mind, where every whisper of insight becomes a guide and every moment of stillness a reminder of your infinite potential. Chapter 9. Emotional Alchemy, Transmuting Emotional States into Power. In the teachings of ancient mysticism, emotions are understood not as passive experiences but as potent energies, each carrying the potential for transformation. The art of emotional alchemy, the ability to transmute base emotions into empowering forces, is central to personal mastery and self-command. Within the realms of Rosicrucian and Gnostic thought, emotions are regarded as catalysts, waiting to be harnessed and elevated. This process is akin to the alchemical transformation of lead into gold. Just as alchemists sought to refine matter, so too must we refine our emotional states, converting fear into courage, anger into understanding, and sadness into compassion. Emotions, when left unchecked, can cloud the mind and diminish inner power. However, by consciously engaging with these energies, you can transmute them into powerful forces that propel you toward your highest potential. This process begins with awareness, recognizing emotions as they arise without judgment or resistance. Each emotion is like a flame, a burning intensity that, if properly contained, can illuminate the path forward. To the untrained mind, emotions are chaotic forces. Yet, to the adept, they are refined energies that can be redirected toward purposeful action. Just as fire, when controlled, can warm and enlighten, emotions, when transmuted, become sources of insight and motivation. Consider anger, a raw and often misunderstood energy. Anger is a signal that something within you demands attention. It indicates boundaries breached or values challenged. By viewing anger not as something to suppress but as an energy to refine, you can harness its intensity to foster clarity and purpose. Anger, when transmuted, becomes determination, a focused resolve to uphold one's truth without succumbing to reactive impulses. Similarly, fear, rather than paralyzing the spirit, can be transformed into caution or discernment, allowing one to navigate life's uncertainties with wisdom and poise. Through such transmutation, emotions cease to dominate and instead become tools of empowerment, each aligned with the mind's highest intentions. The alchemy of emotions also involves compassion, a transformative force that refines all other emotions through the lens of empathy and understanding. Compassion allows you to transmute personal pain into universal insight, enabling you to see beyond the self and connect with the experiences of others. In Rosicrucian philosophy, compassion is revered as a sacred energy, a bridge between individual suffering and collective healing. By cultivating compassion, you elevate not only your own spirit but also contribute to the harmonization of the larger reality. In this way, personal mastery extends beyond self-control to include a sense of interconnectedness, recognizing that each transformed emotion resonates within the broader fabric of existence. Mastering emotional alchemy requires dedication, a willingness to confront and transform inner states with courage and clarity. As you engage in this process, you deepen your understanding of emotions as temporary currents within the ever-still sea of consciousness. You become the alchemist, reshaping the inner landscape, refining raw feelings into elevated states of awareness and purpose. This mastery is not an end but an ongoing journey, where each emotional experience becomes an opportunity for growth and alignment. Through emotional alchemy, you do not merely endure life's experiences but actively shape them, turning every emotional wave into a stepping stone toward self-realization and empowerment. Chapter 10. Rituals of Reality Control, Invoking Personal Power. In the realm of mysticism, ritual serves as a bridge between the seen and unseen, a conduit through which personal intention merges with universal forces. Through ritual, we create a sacred space, a container for focused intent and manifestation. To the Rosicrucians and Gnostics, ritual was not merely an outward performance but an inward journey, a disciplined act of alignment where the practitioner unites thought, emotion, and action toward a single purpose. Within these hallowed practices lies the key to unlocking personal power, for ritual harnesses the mind's energy, amplifying it until it resonates with the fabric of reality itself. The purpose of ritual is to create a rhythm, a pattern that reinforces the practitioner's desires within the framework of the subconscious mind. Just as a musician strikes chords in harmony to create music, so too does ritual create harmony within the self, producing a melody of intentions that can influence external reality. In each carefully chosen gesture, word, and symbol lies the potential to shape one's inner world. By repeating certain actions and words, the practitioner aligns not only their conscious mind but also their subconscious, infusing every cell and thought with the potency of their intent. This alignment produces a coherence that transcends individual will, tapping into the collective energy of the universe. Personal rituals, whether grand or simple, draw from symbols and gestures that resonate deeply within us. Each person's ritual can be as unique as a fingerprint, for what moves one soul may not stir another. Some may find power in lighting a candle, focusing on its flame as a symbol of inner light and clarity. Others may draw strength from visualizing sacred geometry, allowing the form and balance of ancient symbols to bring harmony to the mind. Whatever the form, the essence of ritual lies in focus and repetition, in creating a pattern within that mirrors the order one wishes to manifest without. By creating this order, the ritual transforms desire from an abstract wish into a tangible vibration, a force with the power to move both mind and matter. Through ritual, the practitioner also transcends the limits of individual power, invoking energies beyond the personal self. This invocation is not an appeal to external forces but a deep alignment with universal energy, the same energy that animates every atom and binds galaxies. To the esoteric mind, the universe responds not to requests but to resonance, to the practitioner's ability to harmonize with its natural flow. By shaping the self through ritual, one aligns with this flow, becoming a vessel through which cosmic energies can manifest. Ritual is, therefore, a profound act of surrender and control, a surrender of ego and control over intention, a simultaneous yielding to and shaping of the energies that animate all life. Engaging in ritual is a way to affirm one's place in the universe, a declaration of intention made with reverence and precision. Ritual provides a structure within which desires can grow and take form, transforming fleeting thoughts into sustained focus. As each ritual is performed, it reinforces the practitioner's alignment with their chosen purpose, creating a resonance that grows stronger with each repetition. This repeated practice builds an unbreakable foundation of intent, weaving the practitioner's inner reality into the fabric of the outer world. In this sacred space, ritual becomes not just an act but a state of being, a way of embodying one's deepest truths and aligning them with the universe's infinite power. Chapter 11. The Path of Sacred Imagination, Creating Your Inner World. Imagination is often seen as a mere tool of creativity or an escape from reality, yet within mystical traditions, it is revered as a sacred faculty, an alchemical force that shapes both the inner and outer realms. To the Gnostic mind, imagination is not fantasy but the foundation of reality itself, a bridge that connects consciousness with the divine currents of creation. Through the cultivation of sacred imagination, one gains the ability to construct an inner world that influences the outer. In this sense, imagination becomes the first act of creation, a laboratory of the mind where desires are molded and intentions given form. The power of imagination lies in its capacity to transcend the boundaries of the physical senses. While the material world limits perception to what can be seen and touched, imagination opens a doorway to realms beyond those constraints. Through focused visualization, the practitioner can shape their inner world to reflect their highest aspirations, planting seeds of transformation within the fertile soil of the mind. This process of inner construction is not a passive daydream but a deliberate act of creation, a dynamic interplay between thought and intention that draws on the same forces that shape the cosmos. The inner world becomes a mirror for the divine order, where desires and visions find their first roots. As the practitioner develops this sacred imagination, they cultivate an inner landscape that becomes as real as the physical world. This landscape is populated by symbols, archetypes, and personal emblems of power that resonate with the deepest aspects of the soul. Just as architects draft blueprints before constructing a building, so too does the practitioner design their life through the architecture of imagination. This inner sanctuary becomes a space of refuge and empowerment, where the practitioner can return to refresh their intentions, recalibrate their energy, and align with their deepest truths. Each visit to this inner realm strengthens its presence within the mind, making it a source of enduring strength and guidance. The process of creating an inner world is, in essence, an act of self-definition. By choosing what to imagine, what symbols to include, and what values to reflect, the practitioner crafts an identity aligned with their highest aspirations. In this space, they are not confined by past limitations or external influences. They are free to envision themselves as they wish to be. The power of this inner self-definition extends beyond imagination. It shapes actions, beliefs, and responses in the physical world, subtly guiding the practitioner toward a life that reflects the inner world they have crafted. Imagination becomes a compass, an internal guide that aligns every step with the desired destination. Through this sacred act of imagination, the practitioner discovers that reality is not a fixed construct but a dynamic interplay of inner and outer forces. The boundaries between thought and matter blur, revealing that the outer world is but a reflection of the inner. To engage in sacred imagination is to take conscious control of this reflection, to create within so that the without may align. This is the path of the true magician, the one who understands that power lies not in manipulating the external but in mastering the internal. As the practitioner continues to develop this inner world, they become an architect of their own reality, a conscious creator aligned with the divine forces that move through all things. As we near the conclusion, if you've been enjoying the audiobook, make sure to hit like and subscribe. Drop a comment below and share your biggest takeaway. Chapter 12. The Force of Assumption, Living from Your Desired Reality. At the heart of all mystic practices lies a profound truth. Reality is as fluid as the consciousness that perceives it. This understanding is the essence of the force of assumption, a principle that teaches that one's inner state of being is a magnet, drawing experiences that mirror it into the external world. To assume a desired reality is to live as though it is already true, a practice that aligns the mind, emotions, and actions with the world one wishes to inhabit. This is not a game of pretense, but an act of genuine creation, where the practitioner becomes a vessel through which the desired state of being is made manifest. The teachings of Neville Goddard, a 20th-century mystic known for his insights into the power of imagination, illustrate this concept with striking clarity. Goddard emphasized that the mind cannot distinguish between reality and imagination when assumption is felt deeply enough. By adopting the feeling of the wish fulfilled, one activates latent forces within the self, aligning every aspect of one's being with that reality. This practice calls for faith and discipline, an unyielding commitment to one's vision even before it has taken shape in the physical world. It is a sacred practice of acting from a place of completion, not seeking fulfillment but embodying it. Living from the assumption of a desired reality shifts the practitioner's perspective from a state of wanting to one of possessing. The subtle difference between "I want" and "I am" carries immense spiritual weight, as wanting implies separation while being implies unity. When one adopts the state of being, the desire is no longer something to strive toward. It is a lived experience, a truth already embodied. This shift transforms every interaction, every thought, and every response, creating a resonance that calls forth the corresponding reality. In this state, the practitioner no longer acts out of lack or longing but from a place of abundant completion. As the practitioner deepens in this practice, they discover that assumption is not simply about manifesting specific outcomes. It is a tool for inner alignment and empowerment. The force of assumption teaches that true power lies in one's capacity to live from inner convictions that are unshaken by external circumstances. This requires a steadfastness of mind and heart, an unwavering commitment to one's inner truth regardless of the world's shifting tides. In aligning oneself with a desired reality, the practitioner steps beyond reactive living and into a space of creative command, where they become the architect of their experience, guided by a deeper, inner certainty. Ultimately, The power of assumption invites the practitioner into a life of mastery. It is a call to live in accordance with one's highest ideals and most cherished dreams, not as distant hopes but as present realities. This is the essence of reality control, the understanding that by embodying the qualities of the desired outcome, one brings that outcome into being. The practitioner thus becomes a conduit for their own destiny, shaping life not by accident or chance, but by deliberate, conscious choice. In living from the place of I am, one aligns with the creative force of the universe, stepping fully into the role of co-creator, and realizing that all possibilities reside within the self, waiting only to be assumed. Conclusion. Integration of mastery, stepping into command. As we arrive at the threshold of mastery, it is clear that the journey has always been one of self-discovery, a journey inward, to the heart of one's own power. Mastery over reality, as revealed through the timeless wisdom of mystics and sages, is not an external conquest but a profound alignment within. To command life, one must first command oneself, understanding that the thoughts we entertain, the emotions we nurture, and the beliefs we hold shape the reality we experience. In this culmination of teachings, we return to the essential truth: you are the creator, the architect, and the bearer of your destiny. This realization transforms all limitations into stepping stones, each one a lesson that empowers rather than restricts. Throughout this journey, we have touched upon the Hermetic principles, the teachings of the Rosicrucians, the Gnostic insights, and the mysteries preserved by countless seekers across time. Each chapter has provided a piece of the puzzle, a key to unlock deeper layers of personal and universal understanding. These teachings, when integrated, reveal the art of living beyond circumstance, grounded in the power of conscious choice. By embracing these principles, one does not seek to escape the world, but to engage with it more fully, with an awareness that transcends superficial appearances. Every thought becomes a brushstroke, every belief a color, and every action a canvas on which we paint our reality. The final step in this journey is a call to practice integration. The principles we have explored are not fleeting concepts to be set aside when the book is closed. They are to be woven into the very fabric of daily life, observed in the smallest moments, and reflected upon in quiet contemplation. Integration means living each day with the awareness that your reality is a living, breathing manifestation of your inner state. By cultivating silence, nurturing emotional equilibrium, and embracing the force of assumption, you have all the tools required to build and sustain a life of inner command. This mastery is not an endpoint but an ever-deepening practice, a cycle of continuous refinement and elevation. As you move forward, carry with you the knowledge that the power to shape your world lies entirely within. The path of the sage, the mystic, and the alchemist is not a single ascent but a spiral of growth, where each level of mastery leads to new realms of possibility. This is the art of reality control: to recognize oneself as both finite and infinite, human and divine, ever evolving yet deeply rooted in the eternal. This paradox is the secret of true empowerment, the realization that to be in command is to align with the natural flow of creation, merging personal will with the universal will. Now, as you close this book, you are invited to stand at the edge of your own potential. Look inward, not with the eyes of limitation but with the vision of a master who understands that the only barriers that remain are those you choose to uphold. With a mind sharpened by discernment, a heart fortified by resilience, and a soul illuminated by inner wisdom, you are equipped to step fully into your role as the commander of your reality. The journey has no final destination, for mastery is an infinite unfolding, a perpetual dance with the mysteries of existence. Embrace this path with courage and reverence, and know that within you lies the boundless power to create, transform, and transcend.